Hey, what's up guys? It's Coach Rob here at Rob's Fight Club in Horsham. I'm going to go over how to properly throw your hook today. When we talk about the hook, we're talking about your front hook. So if you're a righty, it's your left hook. If you're a southpaw, it's your right hook. So if we say we're going to throw the hook, it's that front hand. The other hand, the back hook, is a little harder to set up since it's coming from farther distance, but it's a very effective hook to learn as well. It's one that you can throw from far away, although it's riskier, and you got to learn how to set it up. Where the front hook is a little safer because it's closer, right? It's out here. It's easier to throw for the most part from the outside when you're on the inside. The right hook or the left hook is a go-to punch. But throwing a right hook or that back hook from far away can be a little challenging and a little bit risky because you could run into other shots on the way in. I'll get more into the future, how to throw and set up that back hook more from the outside. But for today, I just want to talk about a hook in general. When people learn to throw the hook, they get a little confused first about the hand position. If you're in your stance here and you're throwing your hook, and you're throwing the hook with the palm facing you, that's like the professional hook, like when you're in close and you're at the right range. So if you're at the right range with a hook, the best range is here where your arm's at a 90-degree angle. If you start to get out farther, you start to lose power and you start to come across more like a smacking punch. And that's why this is considered more of like a professional style hook, because the pros know how to throw it the right way and they're not throwing and slapping their opponents with the inside of their gloves. You still see it sometimes, like even Deontay Wilder, you'll see him throw these big wild hooks and they'll clip people sometimes with the inside of that glove, but realistically you want to hit with the knuckles when you're throwing those punches. You can hurt your hands too if you throw them the wrong way. But the farther my arm comes out, the more I'm going to hit with the small knuckles, the front of my, the end of my fingers, instead of the big knuckles or the back knuckles, the big round knuckles where they're the strongest. So if I throw a hook and I turn the palm down, I can throw it at this close range here, the normal range with the 90-degree angle. And as I get out a little further, I can still hit with those big knuckles because of the way that my hand is positioned. Sometimes too, if you're in really close and you have to throw that tight hook, you can throw it with the palm down and still hit with those big knuckles, where if you try to throw a close hook this way, sometimes you're too close, you hit with the wrong knuckles again. So it depends on range, but until you get really good at throwing the hook at the proper ranges with the proper position, throwing it with your palm down is probably your safest bet. If you're an amateur fighter, you can get warned for throwing your punches out like this, like slaps, and you'll be a little frustrated, not knowing why are they warning me? And it's because you're punching like this, because your adrenaline kicks in. You might be throwing those hooks out too far, and now you're hitting with the insides of your hands. Plus, you're risking hurting your hands. All right, so when you throw the hook, it helps to kind of lead into your hook with something. There's also a check hook you can throw off of somebody's punch, but if you are trying to set up a left hook, usually the best way to do it is to set it up off the jab. One thing that I like to do is just step in with a jab, throw it a little short, work it off of a feint, and then get them to reach their backhand for a jab block. Once they do that, I can throw that hook around their arm. Another thing I'll do is I'll throw it down low. I'll get them to kind of drop their hands for a low jab to the body, and from there come right back around to their head and score with it up top. Getting back into a little more of just the fundamentals of how do you throw the jab, here's what I see. Here are the mistakes, first of all. I see a lot of this going on. The punch is out too wide, right? Because maybe they're not getting themselves into the right range to throw it in the first place, or hitting with the wrong knuckles because of that range and maybe not throwing it with the right technique, or throwing it with their head up in the air. So the worst thing you can do is throw a hook with your head up in the air, because usually the counter to a hook is a hook. So if you're throwing your hook and you're throwing your head up in the air like this, now you're leaving yourself wide open to get hit back from this side with their left hook if you're fighting a righty. If my backhand is dropping when I throw my hook, this is a critical mistake too. So If you come up and you drop your backhand down, you can see how I'm wide open for that left hook, which is going to come right around here and catch me. All right? I'm not allowing my shoulders to protect myself either. So I want my head to be down behind my shoulders so my shoulders can do some of the blocking for me at times. But watch how I'm going to throw it. Watch the technique of how I'm going to throw the hook. I'll do it slow. My right hand should be here at my face. Now it could be here, it could be here, but it should be somewhere protecting the right side of your face. And if you feel it touch your face, you know your hand's there. If it's down here, that's no good. If it's out here, it's no good. Number one, it's going to get smacked into your face when it gets hit hard, and you don't know that it's there. It could be here, but you wouldn't know it because you can't feel it there. So especially when you're in a battle in the ring, that hand, if you don't feel it at your face, how do you know where it is until you're already getting hit? And it can only take one hard punch to end the fight, right? So have it here, have it in there, and your elbow's in here too. Just quick note, like your elbow should be on your rib cage, and your chin comes down to your hand. You don't have your head here and bring your hand up to your head. Now you leave your body open by bringing your elbow up. Elbow is in tight. The face is on, the glove is on your face, and your chin comes down to your glove. Right? That's important. Now when I throw the hook out, I start it straight out off of my shoulder or just slightly out on an angle. Right? I don't really want to throw it from over here because now this side of my face is open anyway, and it takes longer to get around over to here. I should be looking inside of that left hand if I have perfect position in my stance, if we're fighting in a traditional boxing stance. All right, now from here, I start that angle out there just a little bit. When I get about halfway, that's when I'm going to turn it over. And again, I don't care if you turn it this way or if you turn it this way, as long as you're in that 90-degree angle position. When you throw it though, the position of my chin to my shoulder is important, my head to my shoulder. So when it comes through, it should come through to here, where my chin is into my left shoulder, and my head is, since my chin is down, my shoulder protects my face. So now if a cross got thrown at me, the sensitive part of my face here, the chin area, is protected, okay? If you go like this, which people will do, you're in a bad position because your head isn't behind your shoulder. You've turned your eyes off of your opponent. Now you can't see. And when you go to turn back, you could be running straight into a hook now, or a cross. So when your head is here and it's turning back this way and you don't know what's coming, you can't brace for it. And when you're moving into it, when that cross comes, that's going to be a crazy hard punch, which is going to twist your head, and it could be potentially a knockout shot. So you throw the hook here, and now you see if a cross is coming when you come back to your guard or get ready to throw your next punch. All right, don't do this. It shouldn't be turning your head away. And sometimes people start their stance like this. No, you don't want to do that. You want to be watching straight out at what's coming at you. All right, you should always see the punches, see their shoulders, watch across their chest, see everything that's coming at you. You throw your punches, and then you're back and you're watching again. All right, so a couple things to work on with your hook. That's going to help to really sharpen it up and make sure you're throwing it the right way. I'm going to give you one more tip to throw on the hook. Once you've got that down, like once you've practiced, throw some crosses and throw some hooks, or throw some jabs and throw some hooks. And once you've practiced the right technique and you feel confident with it, as you start hitting the heavy bags, start to work on snapping the hooks a little bit more. The power on the hooks comes from the weight shift. So your shift comes from the left side to the right side, or from the right side to the left side. You don't have to have a huge pivot. I don't know if you can see my feet here, but you don't have to have this pivot where your heel is going way up in the air. What you do have to have is just a shift of weight from left side to right side. So when you throw it, it's here. And you feel that weight shift. Same thing on the right hook. So if my head right now is center on it, with say there's a center line right here. When I throw my hook, my head should move to the right and be more over top of my right foot, my back foot. And when I throw that right hook, my head shifts to the left. and my head becomes more over top of my left foot. So now I'm moving my head to here and I'm moving my head to here as I throw it. So I got to get the weight shifted. Also, I want to get some snap into it. Shoulder snap, the snap of my hand, the tightening of my hand. If you're already super tight when you're throwing hooks, you're going to wear yourself out, you're using a lot of energy, and you're not getting that snap at the end of it. Loosen up your arms and your shoulders, and when you throw it, snap at the end, tighten at the end, like that. Sometimes I'll throw it into my backhand to make sure I'm tightening my hand and making sure it's not too long of a punch. Just like that, just like that. But I'm tightening here. See that little snap right there, right? I'm shifting my weight, keeping my chin down. I'm letting my shoulder come to my chin. And I'm breathing on the punch too. That shoulder snap. You kind of tighten your shoulder and your chest muscles as you come in right here. Bang, this right here tightens. And your hand tightens. Bang, right there. So if I'm hitting the bag here, if I'm throwing my left hook, maybe I throw across left hook. Right, I'm just snapping it. Right hook, left hook. See if I can give you a better angle here. Right? I'm just using my weight. I'm shifting. I'm snapping. It's like there's a slight delayed reaction as I shift and the tension builds up in my arm and then releases into that shot. Right side, left side. Chin stays down. Hand snaps at the end. So there you go. That's how you throw your hooks a little better. Hopefully. You'll get stronger with those hooks. And, you know, it's always a learning process, boxing. There's so many little things to it. Watching this video is going to help. It's never going to make you good if you're not training with the right partners and with the right coaches. Get in here, try out a class. If you're already here, keep doing what you're doing. Make sure you stay consistent with your training, and every day you'll learn a little more. You'll get better and better. And if you throw these techniques the right way, you're going to protect your shoulders and your elbows and your wrists and your hands. So you're not doing any damage to your body, but you're making your body stronger and healthier. Thanks for watching, guys. Boxing's an awesome sport. Come into Rob's Fight Club, try out a class. Go to fightgetfit.com and schedule a free class. You can always email us or send us messages through social media too. Take care, guys. Keep on training, keep on working.